Good evening, everybody. This is Great Cowboys 1964, and that is Mr. Bill Carroll beside me. How are you doing today, Bill?
It is a fantastic day. We're getting to talk football, and I, got some mixed news about my vehicle. Hopefully, it'll pull through. But other than that, everything's going great.
Awesome. So tonight we're going to discuss interior offensive linemen and the DTs.
Yes, sir. And those just happen to be probably the two deepest positions in the whole draft class, or certainly amongst them.
They are very deep this year. Mr. Randall, how are you?
Yes.
Hello. Sorry, a couple minutes late. My kiddo got his first fade.
Wow. That is exciting.
I know. He's grown up.
Yeah, but he needs to follow in Uncle Greg's footsteps and go bald.
Well, let's at least let him finish middle school, Greg.
That's what. Yeah.
Well, no. He needs to start early. Just go.
He's the college redshirt senior tight end that looks 35.
Yeah, exactly right. No.
I remember having the displeasure of seeing a picture of quote unquote young Stephen Miller, and it's proof that people rot from the inside first or whatever. Because at age 16, he looked older than I did at age 29. It's like, good Lord, man.
Yeah, I saw a little clip of him protesting at his high school about something, and it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. And no, that's not the other Stephen Miller.
No. That Stephen Miller is a lovely human being.
And
a brilliant guitar player.
Yes. Indeed.
As well as the Joker, Smoker, and of course Pompatus of Love.
That's right. Exactly.
But speaking of love, I love this class when it comes to DTs and interior offensive line. Oh, and we're starting with.
And we're going to start with yours.
Oh, me. Oh, we're starting with me. Okay. Well, there you see it. Every single one of those players are players I think will start for 7 or more years in the NFL. Every single one of them. I don't think there's a single one of those players who will not have a very solid and fairly long NFL career. Knock on whatever, barring injury.
That's right.
Each one of these guys is technically sound, powerful, and we'll see just how athletic they test, but they play like guys who should test well. They play like good athletes. There was a time when you would see, essentially tubs of butter sometimes. None of these guys are those guys that sweat buttermilk, right? These are all guys who carry their weight well. These are all guys who can move well in space, can hit moving targets. Some of them are more zone friendly in terms of blocking scheme than, man or gap. Some of them are scheme agnostic. And I tend to push the scheme agnostic guys further up because they're an option for more different teams. They can do more different things at a higher level. But all of those guys, every single one of them, Connor Lew, Parker Brailsford, if we were just getting ready for like a Fight Club kind of situation.
I want Parker. Yeah, and you know this because I was all over Parker Brailsford last year as well. I don't care that he doesn't hit the 320 mark. I don't care. This guy understands how to fight.
He will. If he really works at it, he'll probably get to 298, maybe 301, 302, maybe. But as you just said, he is a tough SOB. He is looking for trouble, and then he brings the trouble to the trouble, and his trouble is more trouble than your trouble. He really is a guy who likes the violence and does it well.
Go look at his Washington Huskies tape. That is correct. A better example of his fighting abilities than you see with him with the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's my opinion.
Agreed. I think I don't want to say that he took the foot off the gas because that's not fair. He never takes his foot off the gas. But I think there was more of an understanding that you're part of a group while he was the big dog, right? Speaking of dogs, speaking of Washington, he was the big dog. He was clearly the man on the offensive line there. he was by far, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman they had. And then he gets to Alabama, and he's they're all him. They're all Parker Brailsford to some extent, except just when it comes to like pure, just mean-spiritedness in a good football way. But yeah, if I were just grading on just pure looking for, like I said, the guy you want to take with you to a rumble, yes, it's Parker Brailsford would be number one. But that's not what I grade on exclusively. The guy that I think, if I had to pick one guy, what is it, a quote unquote gun to your head, who you think could one day be a Hall of Famer, and it's actually not the number one guy. It's the 2 and the 3 sort of battling out in my head because of just, once again, pure athletic potential. Pregnon, I think he's going to test super well. I will not be surprised if he threatens a couple of, if he does agilities, and I hope he does, some of the agility records for guys his size. And while I don't think he's going to, do anything crazy on the bench press. In fact, I don't think any of these guys are. I think, one, I don't think people care about the bench press, and so guys don't train for it as hard as they used to. And then 2, some of these schools do different kinds of lifting where these guys, they still work bench press, don't get me wrong. But when I was, in my teens, bench press was like 40% of our workout, and now, I talk to guys like, I've talked to guys who literally say I've never max benched ever. They'll say that, and then I don't think they're lying. I think they've never at any point in their playing career max bench. They've never tried to see what their bench record is. The first time I went in the weight room, I wondered what my max bench was, right? It was so different. But back to what we're talking about. I think that Oliver Vega, Eone, and Emmanuel Pregnon are the 2 most gifted guys. And if I had to just pick one, it'd probably be Pregnon, who I think has possible even multiple All-Pro to Hall of Fame type, if everything goes right, Hall of Fame type upside. But Chase Bisontes is a better football player right now, in my opinion, right now today than those 2. And that's why he's number 1. And his ceiling is still pretty darn high. Don't get me wrong. All of these guys are guys I would take. There's not a guy in my top 5 who I would be thrilled to have on my football team. If I get Brailsford, I'm happy. If I get Vega, I'm happy. If I get, if I get Lou, any of these guys, I'm especially happy if I get Pregnon, because I think if he gets coached well, he could be something special. But if I get Chase Bisontes, that's a guy I can start at any one of the 3 interior positions immediately as soon as he's done signing, basically, he could suit up and play in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
right. There we go. Mr. Randall.
All right. I cheated a little bit in mine, so I apologize. But I do have Connor Lew 5. I do agree. I think he is the best center in the class, and he's still getting, top 75 grades while rehabbing an ACL. So good for him. Yeah. Absolutely. And then the one that I did cheat on, because obviously he plays right tackle in Iowa, but I think he's the most obvious that cannot play tackle in the NFL. If you just look at his 45-degree set, I think it's too slow and too clunky. He just looks kind of a little out of place. But what he does great is he's just a mauler in the run game. He has a good anchor. He wants, he probably can drink the most amount of beers out of everybody at the combine. That's what he looks like as an Iowa guard. And he's just quick-footed. He's really good at combo blocking, moving to his right and coming on those outside runs, just a mauler in the run game, and can still set an anchor, kind of still sit on his hips. So I'm a big Jennings Dunker guy for moving into right guard. And then I do agree 100% with how how are you aligning Pregnon, Bisontes, and Einon? I agree. Really, Pregnon and Einon are the athletes. So are you choosing the athletic prowess or are you choosing the technical prowess? I think Bisontes is the most technically sound out of those 3 guys for sure. I just really love Vega's athleticism at 1 to be able, I feel like offensive line coaches are salivating and asking GMs to be please draft Vega, because it opens up so much. I could put 2024, he lined up out wide and motions in to start blocking and things along those lines. So what can he not do as an offensive line, as long as you get a good offensive line coach with him? So it's really hard. I agree. It's really hard to kind of see where your 3, where your 2, where your 1 is. So I almost split my athletic guys and put the technically sound in the middle.
All right.
You made a sandwich. I like it.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so now we're gonna give my top 5 here.
Ooh, look at you with the Sam Hecht love. I really like Hecht too. I just think he's gonna get pushed down the board a little.
I've got him in my top 5 because I was gonna put Connor Lew in my top 5, but I figured now you guys will cover him. But Sam Hecht, see,
right.
I understand. I understand how you guys are going to pick.
Do it for the show.
So, yeah. But Sam Hecht, I just absolutely love his game as well.
Yeah, I like him a lot. What do you think he ends up playing? Where do you think he ends up actually playing in the NFL?
I've got him going in as a guard.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah,
I hit a center.
Yeah, I mean that's right. I would once again. I would take any of those guys. Yeah. I really like this class, period. Like, we could be talking about guys in the teens that I'd still like them.
It depends. It depends on where he gets picked, though, right?
Right.
You know, he could be a very solid center.
Yep.
But I could see him. I could see him playing, right guard, left guard, either one.
Right.
To
me, it comes down to, as you said, like landing spot, scheme. And how much does like pure lower body power matter to you, right?
That's
My one little knock on him is he doesn't have the world's strongest lower body, right?
No.
Technically,
but again, when you get into the NFL coaches, they will work on that lower body. That's going to come.
I'm sure that will happen. I just wonder, like, how much. I don't think he'll ever be like super powerful, but I'm sure he'll get to the point where he doesn't get bullied. And he can tell he's a guy who's going to work on it. Like, work ethic is not an issue.
No, it's not an issue with him either. But I figured I would throw Hecht into this list. What can you say? I mean, we can't have 5 identical guys every time.
No, and I'm glad we didn't. And I'm glad Sam Hecht got some love because I felt bad that I just didn't have room for him. I used to like try to do ties back in the old days, but eventually Jeff got on me about that, so I stopped doing it.
No, seriously, Randall, there'd be like 3 guys tied. How many ties do you have? This is a top 5 list.
I would have let
it slide every time.
I like so many guys. Like, I would have tried to sneak Hecht in there at least around 5, tied for 5 or something. And I'm a little less ready to give up on Jennings Dunker as a possible tackle in the right offense, right?
That's
in the right offense. Not every offense.
Yeah.
There are some offenses where he would definitely not work at tackle. But if you're the Ravens, if you're maybe even Seattle, there's a couple of teams that have the right kind of setup where he could probably still stay a tackle. But you're right. If he's going to he couldn't do it with the Detroit Lions. He couldn't do it with he couldn't do it with the Bears. Like, there's certain places where he would have to be a guard. But I'm not quite ready to write. I still have him in my tackle rankings. Now, I may at some point pull him out of my tackle rankings and put him in my guard rankings. But as of now, I still have him on my tackle rankings. Do I think he'd be a really good guard? Oh gosh, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Well, Bill.
Oh, it's me again. Okay. Well, here we go.
Bro.
Now, I know I just said this a second ago about the interior offensive line class. I really, really like the defensive tackle class. Oh my gosh, golly, do I like this group. And there are people who are going to think maybe I've been dropped on my head or whatever because I have Peter Woods at 3. Now, I'm going to explain in a moment. Caleb Banks is a penny stock that suddenly people are treating as a mid-cap stock, right? And guess what? I got suckered into. Now, hopefully we're right. But the tape is not quite what you'd want from a guy that you have ranked this high. You would like to see more. I would like to see. I stopped talking about other people, Bill. Don't put words in other people's mouths. It's unsanitary. Okay, I will stick with me. When you go back to the tape, you're like, right? And you could see that he should be doing things. And you could see, like, and of course, he's dealt with injury this past season. But even in past, when he was healthy, you could see that he was close to making plays. He's one of those guys that was Oh, right there. Oh, you almost had him, right? A lot of that. There was a lot of almosts on his tape. That scares me, right? But you look, I mean, obviously, when you stand right next to him, I stood right next to him twice, and you say to yourself, how is this man 330? He's actually 335 pounds now. And he's probably got like 14.5% body fat. He's insanely put together for a person that big. Insanely well put together. And he had a great Senior Bowl week. And then, as people point out, as often as happened to him on tape in games, he kind of didn't do that much in the actual game. Now, once again, people don't tend to care about the actual Senior Bowl. But I thought it was interesting that he's this, some people say, oh, this guy's not really a practice player. He's the opposite. He's amazing in practice. He was great in practice at Florida. He was great in practice at Senior Bowl, and somehow doesn't quite get it to the same level of dominance in games. But we're all hoping that this incredibly talented, huge human being, who is also like a nice young man, on top of it, puts it all together and becomes this freak show that we all think he might become. And then in the whole other direction physically, we have Landon Robinson, who could almost neatly fit inside the pocket of Caleb Banks. Now, he's not quite 6 feet tall. I think he came in very close to 6 feet tall. I guess we rounded him up. And he's going to play. I mean, he might be. He probably could play up to 294, 5, 6, 7, maybe. But he probably, anything over about right around 300 probably starts to hurt what makes him special, which is his insane quickness.
Yep.
He is so much fun to watch on tape. Oh my gosh!
And what university did he go to again, Bill? I don't think he's. I
seem to think he might be studying squidology. I think he might be.
Annapolis, the Navy. Oh, okay. Yes, the Navy.
I think he might be.
Yeah.
He might be spending a lot of time around crab cakes.
Yes,
and loneliness. In beautiful Annapolis, Maryland. Actually, I guess he won't be lonely much longer. I don't know what they. I know that they got away from like the automatic deferment. I don't know what the situation is now with his military commitment. I'll have to, I guess, check back on that. But assuming that his commitment is deferred, I wouldn't let him out of the 4th round at the latest, and he probably should go even earlier than that. But people are going to look at his size and maybe the military commitment and maybe let him slip. But he really has a chance to be something special. Not quite Geno Atkins, not quite that special, but like the next step below that same sort of physical prototype, but maybe just a step below. Because, I mean, Geno had 75.5 career sacks. I don't see that coming from Mr. Robinson. Boy, I think he could be a really fun, especially if you rotate him, right? Where you keep him fresh. Well, you keep him fresh, you move him around, you put him in different places and just let him go, just do what he does, just attack.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. Now, once again, back to the other end of the spectrum, we have this, 4/5 star, depending on which ratings you follow, who everyone knew would be great right out of the box. And he was great right out of the box. And the longer he played and the more he played, the less effect he had on games. Now, some of that is teams realizing, oh, crap, this is Peter Woods. We better make sure we take care of Peter Woods. And even some schematic things they did differently. I'm aware of all that. But despite all that, there were games where he did practically nothing. And there were also games where he was, even though it might not show up on the stat sheet, where he was consistently disruptive. But he was consistently disruptive. Like, he wasn't like I could throw on the tape of every single game and he was wreaking havoc, even though it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. That bothered me because the next two guys ahead of him, even when they didn't get an actual stat, were consistently just throwing things all out of kilter. And I didn't see that enough from Peter Woods. Do I still think he'd be a good professional? Yes. I still think, and he's not getting out of the top. Heck, he might still be a first round. In fact, he probably is. He's a first rounder. What am I doing? But even if he slides slightly out of the first, he won't get past, the first couple of teams in the second. But I think he still goes in the first. Caden McDonald was a player I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. He was a pleasant surprise to me. So I watched him thinking, okay, let's throw it on, because I had originally another player who's now fell out of my top 5 in that spot before when I did my preseason rankings. And then even my mid-season rankings, Mr. McDonald was not there. It wasn't until towards the end of the season, I'm rewatching to get ready, for this show, and other things I have to do, in my draft analyst capacity. And I was like, huh. And then I said, well, okay, maybe you got lucky. I watched 2 games, like, 2 great games. And while those games were certainly, not his norm, they were above what he normally did. Before I watched them, I realized, no, this guy is going to be a really successful NFL professional football player.
Yep.
And he kept creeping up my rankings. He went from outside of my top 5. In fact, preseason, he was like 11 or something. He missed my top 10. And then he was like at about 8, around midseason. And now here he is, all the way up at number 2. And this is a super deep group. So congratulations, Caden, for getting all the time. He's really good against the run. And he's increasingly effective he's never going to be like a guy that's going to give you 6 sacks, right?
No.
Landon Robinson might one day give you 6 sacks, especially if you play him correctly, if you use him correctly. And if all the lights come on for Caleb Banks, maybe as well, right? But Caden is a guy that might get you 3.5 sacks, right? Maybe even 4. That's probably his ceiling but he's going to press, compress, deform the pocket. Consistently, he changes the shape of the pocket. Yeah. And so the quarterback has to shift or step away or reclutch, right? Regather his feet. And that's how somebody else gets a sack. He's going to help somebody have a 10-sack season, right?
You mean pressure actually counts more than sacks, does it? I
wouldn't go as far as say that.
Certain pressures.
I do.
You got to analyze all the pressure,
right? Because if you're, it depends also who the quarterback is, right? If it's Joshua Patrick Allen, pressure is just like just gets him going, like
a
that's
mosquito.
just gets him heated up, like now the play's really beginning. Now we're playing football. For some quarterbacks it destroys them, and for other quarterbacks it just gets their juices flowing. But the sack ends the play, so I'll always take the sack when I can get it. There's no coming back from the sack. And then last but not least, a guy that I had more around 5 when the season began, around 3 mid-season, and he just, once again, similar story, just kept getting up and up and up. Lee Hunter, his quickness at his size it's all like Caleb Banks and I got to watch them literally side by side at times. I mean, in senior ball practice. Like, I remember when God didn't make 330-pound men move like that. Like, that wasn't the thing they could do. Yeah. His quickness. And once again, he was literally that bowling pin, just scattering the other bowling ball, scattering pins on every play. Even on plays where he didn't get a statistic of some sort, he still made 1 or 2 other people collapse into other people. Like, there's always somebody ricocheting off of Lee Hunter on every single play on tape. He makes somebody bounce around.
All right.
It's a run play, pass play, whatever. Play goes way away from him. He doesn't care. He's making somebody ricochet off of somebody else.
Mr. Randall.
All right.
I have your list.
Big Citrus.
Mine's unfortunately a little boring. So my runner-up was Daryl Jackson Jr. I was trying to figure out between Daryl Jackson Jr. and Dominique Orange because Daryl Jackson Jr. just is alien of a body. But I chose Dominique Orange.
I'll be the guy.
You will talk about him, yeah.
Yeah.
But I picked Dominique Orange out of that because I think his athleticism is so good for him. Like, coming from nose tackle, he's allowed to stunt and twist, coming around into the B gap or even around the tackle. Kind of wild to see. There's times where he dropped back into coverage this year and he laid a hit stick on that motion to drag. That was one of my favorite clips of the year for sure. So I think I love, and Bill Carroll, I so much agree with you. I love this defensive tackle class, especially because there's a lot of really good nose tackles mixed in with defensive tackles. It's what can you get, and that's what I love about it. And then, number 4, Lee Hunter, as you said, he's just he's a methodical bowling ball. He knows how to disrupt everybody and get in the way of everybody, even if it does. My only concern that I put him at 4 instead of 1 is I think where he goes. He probably goes late first, and I do think that Caden McDonald, Peter Woods, and Caleb Banks goes a little bit before him. But, UCF into Texas Tech for 1 year. Curious to see how that transition is to the NFL with just that 1 year at Texas Tech and moving forward on that. And then Caleb Banks, I do agree. Like, I am nervous about the in-game, especially at 6'6", 335 pounds. He brings a higher pad level, and NFL tackles can stunt that right away. And that's what we're talking about in-game, getting washed away. High pad level in the NFL can do that to you. Caden McDonald, I do agree. I was high. He was my, let's see, summer scouting. I think it was number 3 was Caden McDonald. Number 2 was Tim Keenan. And number 1, I do want to say, might have been Dante Corleone coming into the summer. I know. But
I love Big Simpson and Dante Corleone. I just couldn't quite make room for them.
I hear you. But I really liked what I saw out of Caden McDonald. I was surprised how well he did and declaring for the draft coming into that. I know he contributed in 2024, but a full-time starting role, he went out buzzing starting week 1. Very impressed with how he does. You're right. His anchor and his run stuffing's where it's at. You will not get a lot of pass rush out of him. And then Peter Woods, I do agree. What I see in Peter Woods is a 6'3", 310-pound Ed Oliver, and I think that with the right coaching on a defensive line is just a menace for the NFL, and that's why I have him at 1.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Somebody found a home for Daryl Jackson Jr., who is not 240 pounds.
Yes.
Not sure what happened there.
I was about to say that your
I thought we double checked, Greg.
I thought I saw him as the right weight earlier too, but okay.
What happened?
Well, Lee Hunter and Daryl Jackson Jr. are both not 240 pounds, but anyway,
330.
330 is the exact size. But again, Daryl Jackson Jr. He only started playing football in grade 11.
Yep.
And you look at the work that guy did. Okay, this kid understands how to play football, and that's why I put him in my top 5. I got Hunter at 4, McDonald. I put Caleb Banks as number 1. And why I put Caleb Banks up at number 1 is because I think he has the highest floor of all the rest of these guys. If he gets the right coaching.
He has the highest ceiling. His floor scares the crap out of me, though. But he has
I almost think Caden McDonald has the highest floor that we've discussed.
No. But as far as the ceiling goes, I think Caleb Banks could be the highest.
Oh, again, I agree.
It depends on what school what team he goes to.
Coaching situation, all that. Yeah. But
Peter Woods would have been my number 1 guy, but he had too many Mozzie Smith type plays where he was doing nothing this year. Nothing. No, I just don't need that. Yeah. I just don't need that, right?
You got stalemated a little too much for my taste, also. This past
yeah. But
Daryl Jackson Jr. started out in my top 5, and then other guys pushed him out. There's too many good guys. He got pushed down.
Yeah, exactly right. And we have a guest.
We do. And there he is.
There he is. There is Austin. How are you tonight, Austin?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
So,
there
Austin,
he is.
You started out with Southern Utah.
Yep.
And, of course, you have now proceeded on to the BYU Cougars. Which position do you feel the most comfortable in on the line?
Yeah, so I've had I've been able to play all 5 except center. I'm actually learning center right now ever since I've been starting training. But for me personally, guard comes more naturally to me, I think. When I played tackle in college at Southern Utah, it was kind of hard for me to learn, but guard came more naturally to me in some ways, I think, than tackle did. So I think guard would be the answer for me.
And do you have a preference to the side?
No, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter what the side is.
Because some guys are very left-hand, right? Other guys are able to do either side, but yeah, you can do either side, right?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to all the O-line coaches that I've played for, they made us learn both sides. So
There we go.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Um, let's go into the actual warfare of the Utah football situation here. When you guys play Utah, that is just an absolute war.
yeah.
Um, how was that this year for you?
Yeah, the Holy War it was definitely great for me this year. It's something that I've watched since I was a little kid. Growing up as a big BYU fan, the Holy War and the Utah game was always something that was circled on my calendar. But just being able to play in it and um, it was a surreal experience. It was awesome. And the fact that we came out with the win was even better. So
Yeah,
it was just such a great experience overall.
and now of course, because I'm a Notre Dame guy, and
Oh yeah.
instead of going out to USC this year, we
Hmm.
get to come to Provo, and it's like, huh, what is it? Okay, but that's the way that the cookies crumble. I mean, USC was our number one rival.
Hmm.
We're not playing them anymore, right? So now
Yeah.
we're going to go out to Provo. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens in that game this year.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think Notre Dame is going to be a little bit of surprise when they walk into that stadium and hear the atmosphere and feel it and see it. But I think Coach Kalani and his coaching staff will have the boys ready. It's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, indeed, it will. All right, Mr. Carroll, go ahead and
Yes.
ask Austin a question here.
First of all, thank you for being here. I have enjoyed watching two things about one more than two things about you, but two things stood out to me. And I think one of these things might be why you preferred or more naturally feel like a guard than a tackle. At tackle, whether it's run blocking or pass blocking, generally there's a little more patience involved.
Hmm.
And you seem to want to get in there. You seem to want to you close the distance and make things happen immediately. I noticed particularly you have a really solid punch, and you seem to do a really good job of flattening. Getting that good, uncoiling with your hips and driving in and through people. Did you happen to have any like track and field in terms of things like discus, shot put, things like that in your background? Because I see a lot of that. No, okay.
No, not at all.
But you have a lot of the same sort of characters that seeing guys that have like because you really uncoil well.
Mhm.
So who is it that really helped you to unlock that power that comes up from your lower body?
Yeah, I think it was I've been fortunate enough to have some great O-line coaches. My first O-line coach, Coach Fernandez at Southern Utah, and then my second O-line coach there was Matt White, and then Coach Woods really helped me these past 2 years. Kind of just refine my tools that I've refine my toolbox that I've had the past 3 years that I had at Southern Utah, and he kind of just helped me um, kind of just help me advance those tools, so to say. Kind of just help me grease them up a little bit and do the little things right and come down to the nitty and gritty of the details. So, Coach Woods played a big part in that, and then my two coaches at Southern Utah kind of jump started that for me.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Another thing that jumped out was your ability to figure out very quickly what it is that the defender or is trying to accomplish, like what technique
Yeah.
and what things they're likely to be using and how they're likely to try to use them and even the timing of them. That to me speaks to film study. You
Hmm.
mentioned that three coaches, including Coach White, who has a tremendous reputation in the industry. It's clear to me that somebody taught you the right way to watch tape. As like somebody showed you what things to look for. Which one of your coaches was the one that really helped you to really unlock the power of film study?
Yeah, I think all of them really helped me unlock ways to study film, but Coach White took it upon himself to make it known to really know your personnel and know who you're going against each and every week, even in fall camp. Like, when we're going against our own teammates, he was like, get to know them, look at their tendencies, see what they do, see what they don't like, just stuff like that. And then throughout the week, carry some of those things over. Carry some of the things over that you see with certain guys that we're playing that week that you think might work, and then come to me, and then we'll go back and forth with it. And then by the day of the game, we'll have a game plan, or before the game, we'll have a game plan already set for you, and you know what to do during the game when you get in certain situations or certain down and distances, whatever the case may be. So Coach White did a very good job of instilling that in me, and it's something that I carried over at BYU.
Excellent. I don't want to hog. Well, I do want to hog all the question time, but I won't because that wouldn't be very nice of me. So I won't. I will ask my final question. So obviously, you're getting your body ready in a way that's different from getting ready for just playing a game. Combine and pro day training is clearly different, and it's more like being a track and field athlete. So I mentioned track and field earlier, which is not something you're used to doing apparently. But tell me about where your body is in terms of the process of what you're trying to get to, in terms of like weight and body composition and things like that. And what things are you working on to get yourself ready for athletic testing?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me these past, I think I've been training for about 6 or 7 weeks now. I think the biggest thing for me, I'm Polynesian, man. I go home, I eat a lot. I got a lot of aunties and uncles that want to feed me. And so just getting my diet right and eating clean. I can have a little cheat meal here and there, but really understanding, that my body is my business. And so being able to put the good things and the nutrition things that I need in my body to perform the best, I think that's the biggest thing for me. And then just understanding, that a little nick and bruise here and there can turn into something bigger. So taking the time to really invest in my body with recovery. I'm training out here in AP Fresno in California, and they've done a tremendous job with us. We're training really hard. My body's looking a lot leaner. I'm getting a lot stronger, faster, but you have some nicks and bruises along the way with it. And they're adamant about us getting into the training room, getting treatment, doing whatever we really need to fuel our bodies, whether it's eating right or just getting the treatment we need. So it's been awesome.
So what do you weigh now, Austin?
So this morning I was at 312.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what's your goal? Like, where do you want to be?
Well, I want to stay between like 308 and 310. So, I'm getting closer and closer to my goal. I think when I first got here, I was 320. So, and I've dropped in weight, and I've gained a little bit of muscle mass as well. So it's been good.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yep,
Mr. Randall.
All right. All right. Bill Guest. Thank you for being here as well. Bill Guest in the track and field department. But if I looked a little bit deeper, did you have a background in rugby?
I did. Yeah, I played rugby in high school.
And, that's awesome. I love that. And what helped you from rugby go into the college and help you kind of get a good foundation into going into offensive line in college?
Yeah, I think everything that you do in rugby can translate over to being an offensive lineman. Outside of the tackling and everything, maybe on occasional interception, but just being able to be explosive, using your legs, driving them, hands, everything. So rugby kind of set the foundation for me personally to really be the best O lineman when my first 2 years. And so just being able to have that foundation and translating over, the ideas and everything from rugby to football helped me a ton.
I love that. And then BYU has some pretty good advanced blocking schemes when it comes to the offensive line, and you have a great offensive line coach. How do you see that as a good step forward that you've already gone to the NFL? Because some colleges have pretty basic blocking schemes and, outside zones and inside zones and things along those lines. What at BYU did you learn that you believe you have a step above on some offensive line because you played for BYU?
And that was Coach Woods, man. He did everything in his power to prepare us each and every week for any possible situation. And it didn't even start during the season. It started during spring ball, during winter workouts, just really getting down to the details of everything, understanding, what down and distance we're in, what down it is, where we're at on the field, what works here on what hash, whatever really, scenario that is played in football, Coach Woods tried to get us prepared for. And ultimately that put us in better situations. Because I'm going to be honest, my football IQ before I got to BYU was not as good as it needed to be, especially with the pro style offense that they run there. And so I was in shambles. I was in shock. But the fact that he was able to help me understand different things and see different things on the field really slowed down the game for me. And it was just awesome.
That's awesome. And for that, is there anything that you can remember this year that you had to prep for in terms of a heavy defensive line? Because you had to go up against some dogs like Utah, Cincinnati, Texas Tech you had to play against. Is there anybody that you had to prep for, like two outside, like Texas Tech? They obviously had two outside edges that were insane, inside work, whole 9 yards. Is there, do you remember prepping for one of those teams, and can you go through it for us?
Yeah. So Texas Tech, it was actually kind of funny because they weren't really a blitz heavy team.
No.
It was kind of funny because all the teams that we played this past year, a lot of when they weren't blitz heavy, they were crazy blitz heavy against us, right? And so throughout the season, we were known for running the rock. And then, a ton of teams tried to just get us off our tracks with movements, stunts, blitzes. And one game that really sticks out to me is Arizona. They did a really good job they played a funky defense, man. And they did a really good job of moving their D linemen. And, they did a lot of different stunts, blitzes, and giving us, different looks and hiding those looks. And so they did a really good job of that. And something that we did as an offensive line to kind of prepare for that week is, we kind of took a step back of being the aggressor and we kind of let things come to us, not like necessarily taking, off the aggression, but we kind of just took a step back to kind of to analyze it first. And then we went downhill to attack them. And that worked out really well for us. I mean, the game went into double overtime. It was a going back and forth game. Another team that comes to mind is Colorado. They play a pro style defense where it's kind of just line up and let's play. And we weren't expecting that from them at all, especially from the previous weeks that they were playing. They didn't show that on film really. And so that was tough for us. We had to kind of revisit the game plan there. And then obviously Texas Tech as well. They don't blitz a lot, and they blitzed the heck out of us.
Yeah.
I semi-lied. Somebody just quick asked him about what he knows about Lee Hunter. We studied him on tape.
Well, I was about to ask him about Lee Hunter.
Well, then, yes.
Talk about Lee Hunter a little bit.
Sweet.
Yeah. Speak about Lee Hunter and what it was like going up against Lee Hunter.
Yeah, so these past 2 years when he was at UCF, he was a very physical, stout defensive lineman. He could move for how big he is. I think they had another defensive lineman that was there, number 5. We thought he was a little bit better in terms of like physicality, run blocking, getting to the quarterback on, third down. This past year, I think Lee has taken a step forward. And in my opinion, Lee Hunter was probably the best defensive tackle that we played this year. I think at times, though, he gets, a little lackadaisical. He chooses when he wants to play. But outside of that, he's a great athlete, man. He was strong. He was stout. He was physical in the run game, and he was savvy in the pass game when he needed to be.
Yeah. When
awesome.
other players say players take a play off against me every now and again, especially on the defensive line. These guys are being rotated in and out, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not getting rotated out, I think that's the case of what Lee Hunter faced against you guys, was the fact that he was always in that lineup and he wasn't going off to the bench.
Yeah.
So again, if people say that, yeah, okay, he took some plays off, well, that's because he was always out there,
Yeah.
right? You know, that comes into play. Um, my other big question for every player, and this that better not be the typical answer.
Hmm.
What is your favorite meal?
All right. My favorite meal to eat is rice, taro,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
balusami,
Oh,
chicken, and
chicken.
some short ribs.
Okay.
what an answer.
There we
Yeah.
I
go.
love
Guys,
it.
it's not just steak, mashed potatoes, and a piece of a vegetable. This is
No.
real.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
no, that would be like probably my third favorite meal. Now, my wife can make a great steak,
Oh,
right? But we don't eat mashed potatoes in my house. It's strictly rice.
That's
Good answer. Good
Did,
answer.
did you get a lot of mashed potatoes as a kid?
No, it was rice, man. I
It
grew
was
up on
always
rice.
rice.
If I didn't have rice with them every meal, something was wrong.
Yeah,
Shortage.
Yeah, like we didn't if we didn't have rice on the table, and sometimes it was just rice, oh well. But if we didn't have rice on the table, I knew we were down bad. But that we never got to that point. So,
there you go. There you go. What do you think about coming up and playing up here in Canada? Because that's where I'm at.
oh, okay, yeah, it's definitely something in my that I'll have in my back pocket. My agent has, he entered like my name into the availability for the CFL.
Yeah.
And so that's something that me and my wife will definitely talk about. But man, them taxes up there are crazy.
Well,
you've done your research.
Yeah.
Oh man.
the taxes aren't as quite as bad for you guys as people always claim they are because they have
Hmm.
gotten lower.
Okay.
The
Okay.
taxes
Yeah.
are now lower, okay? But again, um, yeah, I mean, BC playing in BC Place would be a nice avenue for you to come. I'm actually out in Calgary where the
Okay.
Stampeders are, but
Yeah.
I don't cheer for the Stampeders. I never have, never will. Yeah,
Actually, I have like 3 buddies that play in the CFL, so that's actually cool.
Okay.
yeah, I'm actually an Edmonton fan.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
The Elks.
Well, yeah, they're now called the Elks, but
Yes, they're now called the Elks.
I can't stomach that name. But anyhow,
Too stereotypical for Canadians.
what's that?
Nothing.
Go ahead, say it again.
I said too stereotypical for the Canadians. Just throw elk or a maple leaf on there.
Before this devolves into just us messing with each other, I will fire one or two more. I lied. I have one or two quick ones. Who are some of your favorite guys to watch, Austin, in NFL, or if there's guys you'd like to watch in other leagues that you like to watch from?
I think my 3 favorite guys that I love to watch, I've watched since college, and in the NFL. Love watching Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, left tackle, right tackle for the Eagles. Loved watching Troy Fautanu.
Yeah.
He's the Pittsburgh Steelers right tackle. Taliese Fuanga. He's the Saints left tackle. Sometimes they swing him out to right tackle. For my interior guys, Wyatt Teller.
Okay.
From the Browns. And then Joe Thuney. He's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
Love watching Joe Thuney. And then it's going to be kind of funny. Growing up, I watched a lot of Jeff Saturday, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Excellent. Thank you.
Go ahead, Randall.
What I did not do much research on it. I was just curious because I did watch this game for your film. What happened with left tackle for the bowl game? Was it your choice? Was it coach's choice? You look good at left tackle.
Yeah, so I was actually I kind of got banged up in the championship game, and I was still kind of dealing with a little bit of an injury, and so our left tackle went down the Pop-Tart game on the first drive, and they had asked me if I wanted to play left, and I said, whatever we need, I'll do it. And so I had never played left tackle in a game my whole life.
Yeah.
And so I've only practiced it. Like I've only gotten reps in it at practice. And I was just like, hey, whatever, we're gonna see how this goes. And it went fine. So
I think you handled it quite well.
You,
yeah, it
you,
was
you,
it was fine.
your movement was just fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing that tackle versus a guard is the foot movement.
Yep.
That
Mhm.
tackle has to be very, very solid, right? And you did that very well in that bowl game.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos. That goes credit to my, my offensive line coach, Coach Woods, and his GAs, Kipper and Carter. They got me ready for that type of situation all year because I was the swing guy. If any of the tackles were to go out, I was going to go in. And so every day after practice, Austin, let's go get some sets. Let's go get this. I took more right sets than left, but ultimately it paid off. So
Yeah.
And one of the first things you'll learn in the NFL is the more things you can do, the more things you will do.
yeah,
The versatility. And you
Yeah.
said you're working on snapping the ball. So if you can literally back up at every single one of the positions along the line, you'll have a job somewhere in the league for a while.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Cooper Beebe did not ever snap a football at center until he went to the Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah, yep.
He never snapped the football, and there he is, the starting center for the Cowboys, right away.
Yep.
I mean, it's and like I said to you in our chat that I had with you and Chris there, I love centers, right? I love centers. So that's why I was. Oh, okay. We can talk to Austin because he's learning how to play center.
Yeah.
What's the key thing for you about playing center after the ball gets snapped?
So I think the biggest thing that I've learned so far with, everything that I've been going through my 7 weeks of training, the biggest thing for me is, obviously snapping the ball, getting it back there, but gaining ground on your first step,
Bingo.
getting to the point of attack at center, and then driving your feet, right? Because at center you're in closer quarters than you are at guard.
That's right.
And so, the majority of the time you're going to be working with somebody, but, getting that first step in the ground, that second step, wherever it needs to go, and then getting, your head placement and then your hands to where they need to be as fast as possible.
Yeah. And that's the key thing to being a good center is that first step. That first step after you snap that football is the whole key to being a solid center.
Yeah.
So
Jason Kelsey does that. He did that really well for the better part of his career. So I've been looking at that as well. So
Yep. So again, when we have our Draft Central program during the draft, if you are drafted, you just let me know, and we'll get you on.
Yep.
That's not going to be a problem at all. It's going to be fantastic. We do have another question here. What strengths to your game are going to be your foundation at the next level?
Yeah.
And I think we've already kind of discussed that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like we talked about earlier, is my versatility. That's going to be my biggest strength. And then, I like to consider myself a very, how do I say this? A very, a speedster, I would say. I love getting out there on reach blocks, getting to the second level, getting to those linebackers, just doing everything I can to, put us in the best situation possible, not only as an offense, but more importantly as an O-line.
Yeah. And of course, I've asked a couple of other offensive linemen this question, of course, because, of course, everybody talks about this pass-happy NFL that they always talk about. I believe the running game matters, right?
Mhm.
Do you love to start a game off with a run, or do you want to be stopping a pass, the pass rush? What do you prefer?
I think it's always good to start the game off with a run to set the tone, get your pads going.
Bingo.
I think the first play of the game is probably one of the most important plays of the game because that's when you know whether or not you can play with the guy in front of you. So I think, setting the pads, letting those dudes know, I'm going to be here all day or I'm going to be here all night. That's what you're going to get. Just that feeling to me is one of the most, refreshing feelings in football outside of, getting a score or a pancake or
Well,
whatever it
because
is.
because the offensive linemen are actually on the attack,
Yep.
right? I mean, you guys love to attack a defense, and you want to pound those guys as much as you can, instead of having them come at you
hmm
with the pass rush, right?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, when we got a pass play dialed up and our receiver catches it, that brings us joy. But I'm gonna be completely honest. When there's a pass play called, we're like, all right, let's make this happen. But when there's a run play called, man, it's just we're licking our chops at that point.
Bingo. Exactly right. Exactly right.
What game are you most proud of? Like if an NFL scout says, if there's a game that's going to help me to sell you to my GM, what game should I put on? What game would that be?
Oh man, I've had a couple of those this year.
If you got a couple, I'll let you pick two.
The TCU game, I think, the Georgia Tech game, and then if I were to throw another one in there, the probably the ECU game.
And
Yeah,
why those particular ones?
I think um, I think those games for me were probably some of the better games, and they were all with different game plans.
Mhm.
And so I think me personally, just showing that versatility, showing that I can do certain things that our coach asks us to do each and every week to, be a sponge and, adapt to, whatever we're running that week. And if you watch those games, we're doing three different things in those games as a O line.
As an yeah, the
Yeah.
Georgia Tech game in particular, right?
Yeah. Yep. And Eastern Carolina University, like they
Yeah.
ran a weird, funky defense as well. And if you watch us, like we're doing a lot of great things as an O line.
And
And
was
go ahead.
that Arizona game where they were using a five-man front?
No, yeah. Sometimes they would,
Right?
they would mix it up. They
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
they would do a 4 down. They would go to 3 down. They would have a five
Yeah.
five-man front. Like they did a really good job of mixing it up. But like my individual success really in those games was based on all five of us on the O line, because we're five as one. We go together everywhere on that field. And so when one of us is out of whack, then we're all out of whack. And, I couldn't be as good as I was if it wasn't for the dudes around me.
And now I'm old, and Bill is just a little bit younger than I am. So we're used to two-a-days,
hmm
and we're used to the linemen always having their pads on.
Yeah.
Would you like to go back to having your pads on the
Oh,
entire
yeah.
practice?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at BYU, we had the luxury of, we, 2 days are against the NCAA rules.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
But having your pads on, putting those on, it's a different kind of feeling, right? Like it's, that's our preparation for war, as some people like to look at it, or
Bingo.
that's my preparation to,
Right.
put more money in my pocket and more food on my kids' tables, and and help them out. And so I that's how I went about it every day. And some days, it was tough. But most days it was time to go. It was the
And
grind. So.
and the offensive linemen need to have their own week. I don't care about tight end week. I really don't like that tight end week thing. I don't like it. I don't like this tight end university nonsense that they always go to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It should be the offensive linemen who are all out there together, pounding out.
I agree. I think both can happen. Both can do
could
it.
happen. There are enough weeks in the year that both could happen.
Yeah.
This is where you put the old man shouts at clouds.
That's
graphic.
exactly what I was thinking.
That's
Phil.
right. This is the old guy. This is the old guy talking about the good old way football used to be played. Where it, like you said, Austin, it's you guys are a five-man unit,
Mhm.
and you know what I don't like seeing is this five-man unit not being out there in the preseason anymore. I
Mm.
don't like that at all.
Yeah.
You guys, if you're going to be the starters, you have to get out there. You have to be out there hitting somebody at least for a half. At least for a half.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know?
I agree with you. I agree with you a little bit. And it was kind of cool that you say that because at BYU they treated us like world class athletes.
Yes.
They did a very good job of keeping it professional, and they did everything that they thought was similar or if not the same as the NFL.
Mm.
And so outside of the starters not doing as much as like maybe the third strings or the scout team guys, they were very heavy on us, putting in the time, the work, and the effort each and every week, even if it was February, even just dialing those things in. So
And that's what it takes.
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up. I've been a Cowboys fan since 1969, and that offensive line group of the 90s. Yes, there was different players involved in it, but boy, when those 5 guys were together, they were completely together.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you don't see that happening in the NFL that much any longer. You really don't. And
Yeah.
I think it's one of the reasons why every team is always searching for new tackles. It's like, whoa, because you're not working out the same way that you used to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a certain chemistry that you have to have,
Yeah.
no matter what level you're at, whether it's Little League, high school, college, the NFL. I think the Eagles O line is one of the best to look at when it comes to that, and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Like you look this past year too, the Chicago Bears. Like you look at those O lines, they're playing for each other. You can see that. They want to win. They're putting money aside. They're throwing their bodies, putting their bodies out on the line. With every single play. So
Yeah.
it's good to
Exactly
see. It's good to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has been awesome having you on here, Austin. As I said, if you are taken during the draft or as a UDFA, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
you've got my phone number and everything else. So you just let me know, and we will have you coming back on. I really do hope to see that your name does get picked here.
Appreciate it.
You're worthy of it. You're worthy of it because
Yeah.
you know you played left tackle without ever doing it before, right? And you played well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's why I asked you which side do you prefer, because
Mhm.
I knew you had played left tackle,
Hmm.
but I also saw you play on the right hand side quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, there's lots of guys out there who can only do that one side. They
Right.
cannot go to the other. You have the capability of playing on either side of the football, which again means your versatility matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it has been a great pleasure to have you on. And again, if you are picked, you just let me know, and we'll have you back on during the NFL draft.
Yeah. No, sounds good. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for your
Awesome.
time.
You take care,
Yeah.
Austin.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
So,
Alec
Ian-
Anderson's moving to left guard, and we need a utility guy in Buffalo. For real though, because Alec Anderson went right tackle to center for us. He's moving to left guard without David Edwards. We need a guy.
yeah. Well, hey, the Steelers and the Cowboys both need another offensive lineman. They both do. So every team should draft an offensive lineman annually. I don't care.
Always.
You know, and again, they don't all have to be first round picks either, right? Because I look back at the Cowboys teams in the '90s. Well, none of those guys were a first round pick, and they were awesome. But now, of course, we've got 4 first round picks on their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need to waste another first round pick this year, boys. No, please don't.
You got 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly right. Mr. Bill,
Yes, sir.
what are we going to do next week?
So I think we might do offensive tackles and pass rushers because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So
Jennings Dunker won't be in my top 5.
well, you kind of cheated putting him in here, but that's okay. That's
At least I was a little bit different. We all had something different splattered in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the whole key. We don't have all the same 5 guys. Forget that noise.
Yeah.
How many left tackles are we going to actually put up there next week?
Ooh,
Mm,
that's a good question because a lot of the guys who were left tackles are going to become right tackles. Some of them might even become guards. So
well, we want to avoid that discussion of the guys who are going to move to guard and all that.
right.
Because again, everybody said Will Campbell needs to be a guard. Will Campbell, no, he was just fine at left tackle until he had the injury. And yes, he had the awful performance in the Super Bowl, but he was not out there at 100%.
Right.
You know, so again, so many tackles cannot go in and play guard because of the instantaneous action.
Right.
They just can't handle that. So again, there's some guys, okay. You know, like, and again, I go back to when they said Smith was going to be a left tackle. No, Jeff and I were both, no, he's not. No. Yes, he could be a bully at the school he was going to, but he had 16 holds.
Yeah.
No, you
Right.
can't put it. And now, of course, Pro Bowl guard.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
You know,
and like you, I saw his Tulsa tape and I noticed just how athletic he was and how aggressive he was and grabby he was. So yes, they found a situation for him where he doesn't have to worry so much about those body types, right? Because in college, some of those guys, when you're playing offensive tackle, are literally 219, 224 pounds playing, defensive end.
Yeah. I can bully anybody I wish.
Right. Some of those guys are going to run like, low 4.5s. I mean, it is very, and, probably have a 3-cone that would be good for a receiver. So when you are a person who's kind of grabby by nature and you match that up with these, really swift and really, live, super change of direction, athletic, agile body types, it equates to a lot of grab. And then even at the NFL level where they're, aren't quite that small, but still there's Hassan Reddicks, there's a lot of really athletic, super athletic, freakishly athletic people. So yes, kicking him inside made all the difference for the outcome of his career. I think he could still play tackle. It would not be ideal, as we pointed out, but he's a good enough athlete that I think he could do it. You would just, as you said, you have some problems, you have some mistakes. He would give up some plays, and of course, he would grab some people.
That's his biggest issue is grabbing guys. No, you don't need to grab guys when you're playing tackle. You need to keep your hands open. Do not close them onto a guy like that. No, stupidity.
Yep.
But again, he's a very good guard. So, that's the bottom line of all this.
That is.
So Randall, how was the combine today?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
You're leaving tomorrow morning?
Yeah, early tomorrow morning.
Okay. So you will be there tomorrow morning. Are you, and where's your very first stop going to be?
Oh, White Castle, of course.
Because
Mr. Barnes is in the chat.
Mr. Barnes, exactly right.
Mr. Barnes, give me your order. I'll order exactly with a picture.
So absolutely. Enjoy the combine.
I will. I'm excited.
And next week, folks, we will have our edge rushers and our offensive tackles. The edge rusher group is going to be, I think we're going to see 5 different names for everybody, I think.
All day.
Yep.
All day.
Yep.
Yeah.
The tackle group is going to be, there it is.
Cheese.
See, it's a
there you go.
case of cheese sliders.
There it is.
That is Mr. Jeff Barnes' order when he goes to White Castle.
Sold.
Awesome.
So that is your order when you get there tomorrow.
There
All
it
right.
is.
Listen, I've had White Castle before, so this is not new to me. So I
No.
will.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, I'm back up here in Canada where we don't have any White Castles, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
I kind of miss that.
Yeah. As I said, it was my father's first job.
Huh.
And see, it lasts him the whole weekend.
So I don't want to call anybody out, but it might last me 2 weeks.
Oh,
I'm a smaller guy. I'm a smaller guy.
Yeah. Mr. Barnes is not as small a man as you are.
No, he is not.
No. But again, I could do the Crave cheese sliders in a very simple manner. Food just goes through me like, and I'm 61 now, and I could still eat a ton.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
That's
You know?
keep it going, Greg. Give us all
Yeah.
hope.
Exactly right. I had a huge bowl of chili today, and just a big bowl of chili, and
Excellent.
oh yeah, it was awesome.
I
But-
made some chili just right before the show myself, sitting on the stove right now.
See, there you go. Now, of course, your chili is going to be best done tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, always.
I made
Always. Soups,
I made mine. I made
soups
mine.
is always.
I made mine yesterday, and of course, I eat it today.
Right.
Yeah, that's a rule.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Yep.
Next week we will have our edge rushers and
Yes,
our
we will.
defensive tackles. Everybody, take care.
Yes.
Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need those subscriptions. That's how small guys survive.
Yes.
And everybody, take care.
Have a good night.
Thank you.